I think, there are two aspects to Cantor. One aspect is the really theological aspect, which gets pretty wild. And Cantor thought he was inspired. I think he wanted an appointment with the Pope. The Pope didn't meet him, but someone else in the Vatican met him. But there's a part of Cantor's theory which is not wild. It provides a good language and a more abstract framework for mathematics. And the 20th century did not go wild. It did not become theological, but it took.
But it became dogmatic.
Yes.
I think logical positivism and all those
and Hilbert's
things,
program.
And I actually I'll agree with Virginia on that aspect. I think the very name, and that might be why I disagree with the use of postmodernity. I think the very name of modernity has actually been betrayed, has been used in a different way with people from the 19th century on.
Okay.
I call that industrialism. I say it's even, they make, even with mathematics, physics, an industry. So something that is closed, that has to have a specific outcome, that it's finite and everything.
This was Poincaré's reaction to Hilbert's program, saying that turns mathematics into a giant sausage machine, that the pigs go in one end and out the other end come cellophane sausages.
Exactly what I mean.
That's
exactly what I mean.
What you said.
Yeah. We lost the very idea of pure knowledge, which is in fact contemplation. We made it something industrial.
It's a more mystical experience then.
We made it something industrial.
Well, for me, what inspires me in mathematics is the sublime or the transcendent aspect of mathematics. Not the fact that it's useful for practical applications.
Of course,
I have nothing against practical applications.
And it's what we like with you here at the Institute for Advanced Studies.
It's the crazy part.
Not only me.
Okay, it's the crazy part. So then Omega is not postmodern, it's modern. Finally, we've reached modernity, finally.
Yeah,
finally.
It's modern.
Yeah, we have never been modern. Isn't there a book with that title? On n'était jamais moderne.
Yes, it's
we've never been modern.
Yeah, exactly. It's Bruno Latour. We are not modern yet. Nous n'avons jamais été moderne. I don't know how to translate it.
I understand.
We haven't been modern yet.
We have never been modern.
We could say we haven't experienced modernity yet, but except that he doesn't say it in the same way I'm saying it.
That you're saying it. No, I love the way you're saying it now.
You know which way he takes for granted the fact that modernity is actually industrialism, pure rationality, everything is, etc. And he said we never were able to be totally in that pure rationalistic way.
Thank God.
Exactly.
Where's the poetry?
That's it for him.
How does life have a meaning?
Exactly. Well, for me, modernity is pure poetry because it's pure subjectivity. It's pure liberty. The very idea of liberty. But
people are scared of liberty.
I know. But from the 19th century, they started to say, we believe in liberty, in freedom, and all that. So, all that. But in the same time, everybody knows we are totally determined. But it's just paradoxical. It's what I call schizo-humanism. Because the fact that, because people, they pretend they believe something because they have to believe in freedom.
Yeah.
But in fact, they don't. So they are faking the entire things from the 19th century. Democracy, in reality, modern democracy, has to be a mystical experience. It's what I wrote in my book. Otherwise, it's nothing. And that's the reason why it's becoming nothing. Because it's just procedures and things like that.
Well, I agree that it's becoming nothing, but how would it be a mystical experience?
Because when you believe...
The body politic meditates and comes up with it.
Not at all. Just the fact that you trust, you believe that it is the pure subjectivity, not the objectivity, the pure subjectivity of the people that individually decide something, and by some kind of a mystical experience, there will be a government that will change.
That would emerge.
Exactly, that will emerge from that.
Like a phase change.
Exactly. But if you don't believe if you think that people are completely determined materially, how can you believe in democracy? Because it's actually the very basis is the idea that it is a choice.
But that's choice. What governments want. They want to brainwash the electorate to vote for what they want them to vote for.
And at the same time, they fake ideologically the idea that they believe in freedom, in citizenship. Exactly what I mean.
No, freedom is very scary. I can give a hilarious example. When I worked at the IBM lab, there was a colleague of mine who loved Lisp, which I also love, which is why we were friends. And he was a very much 1960s Vietnam era. He and his wife they believed in total freedom and I don't know what, and lots of stuff. So he had a son. And what did the son of this couple that was total freedom do? He decided to be a military officer and went to study at West Point because he wanted people to tell him what to do. He couldn't take this total freedom that you have to reinvent yourself every day.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you are in front, the freedom is like, and even Jean-Paul Sartre said it, it's like a hole. You're in front of a hole, and or it's like an abyss, because there is no ground, in fact, because you are actually free. You feel that there is one moment where, and so you feel scared. Your first reaction is just like,
or should I jump in?
I jump, or
like getting married. You just have to jump in. If you think about it too much, no one would ever get married.
Exactly. Or you just break and you go down. And it's what happened in the 19th century, I think. People, they were afraid. They were just, what's happening? You know, what's happening? No, I don't want to jump. And so they came back. And even with the freedom of women, equality of women, etc., there is a regression in the 19th century from the 18th century. Even Michel Foucault has shown that. And we used, for instance, like the medical institution, psychiatric institution, to justify scientifically what was justified, you know, dogmatically, religiously before. And we forgot about what happened in the middle, in the 18th century. This dream of equality, of even ecology, and all that was born at that time.
Oh, really? That I had no idea.
Even the idea of
the
things
cycle, huh?
The natural philosophy, the idea of nature, and
all
these kind of things in the 18th century.
That I knew.
Yeah, and you know, and it's also a bit in the 19th century with those people like Schelling, or those philosophers.
I know John Mills was in favor of female emancipation.
And it has a very strong influence, this 18th century, in American transcendentalism. The American, with people like Emerson, you know, the American philosopher. And
a visionary.
And all those people, they are in the idea of life is open, and there is this openness. And even
the Bergsonian life force?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Did you see his play Man and Superman or Back to Methuselah?
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, there's Man and Superman is a conventional play in a way, but it has one totally wild dream, one act which is a dream, and it's Don Juan in hell. And it's a conversation between the devil, Don Juan, the lady he seduced, and her father, who Don Juan unfortunately kills. But the father insists it was because he slipped, not because he's the better swordsman. And the question is, where should the human race go? Where should they evolve to? You see, actually, it's a very interesting play. Back to Methuselah is almost unperformable because it's 5 hours, 5 acts, and it goes from Garden of Eden to the far future, thinking about in which direction human beings can go. And I think Shaw was inspired by Bergsonian's notion of the life force and creativity, and that the human race was plastic and was going to...
That you found also in William James and all those philosophers that are...
Well, James is...
Pragmatism, you have also...
Yeah, pragmatism
not as
and capitalism
powerful.
are too close, in my opinion. Forgive me, but Emerson is a visionary.
Yeah, Emerson is great.
He's more my cup of tea.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I love him. I love Emerson.
That's why he's forgotten. Ce n'est pas l'esprit du temps.
But there was also Henry David Thoreau, less a philosopher, but still there was this impulse.
Well, yes, this was the romanticism of nature and getting away from...
There's the
We've
idea
been in Thoreau's. My wife and I have visited... Stephen Wolfram lives in Concord, near to Thoreau's Pond. So we visited.
Oh, wow.
Once, and there it is. It turns out that...
It's near Champaign, Illinois?
No. It's near Boston. It's just on the outskirts of Boston.
The reason why I didn't understand.
But at that time, it was the countryside. It was the countryside. And it turns out, Thoreau writes beautifully. I read Walden Pond, and it's very inspiring. You know, with this vision of nature. but the thing was, his sisters would bring him food. It wasn't quite,
No, I know. It wasn't the wild that we
it wasn't
expect.
surviving in Alaska during the winter.
It wasn't that like that. I know.
It was
wasn't
much
like that.
more a romantic.
Just a garden just behind.
Right, it was more a romantic vision, but it's inspiring. That was one of the books I grew up with.
Of course.
My dad had Walden Pond there at home,
So that's the idea of the wild. That's interesting. This idea of the wild, because you were talking about
of
wild.
the sublimity of nature.
I know.
Instead of nature,
exactly,
red in tooth and claw, which is the Spencerian view of
how
nature.
nature even overpass, we will say, even the formal idea that we have of harmony. It goes beyond that. It's something else. It goes beyond. It's just when we are talking about the sublime is actually wild. It's something that goes just that you can't grasp. When you say wild, it is that.
But Thoreau believed in freedom from urban life, from civilization. This was part of the. It's not just that nature is wonderful, because nature also is horrible. Everyone is someone else's lunch.
The sublime is also horrible.
But
No, it is. It is even
chaos.
Yeah. It's also horrible. It's just the sublime is just something that is beyond, it transcends our capacity to grasp and so we can't do anything but, oh, my God, it's sublime. Even it just actually kills you.
Well, that's a moment of